It's been 7 games since we scored a point in the Champions League. Today we play Ajax. Oh god. What's up guys, ChasingLamely here with episode number 117 of Passport to Poland, and in today's episode we are, as I said in the intro, playing Ajax away at the Johan Cruyff Arena. Since you were last with us, we've been on a bit of a weird run. You saw the Chelsea game. We beat Gornik 3-0 in the league with Nick Francis, Dominic Eamon and Thomas Sindelar scoring goals in that game. Then we beat Katowice in the FA Cup with Jordi Patia getting 4 goals, Matty Longstaff scoring and Peter Alexander scoring for the club. And then we had a 0-0 board draw with Jagiellonia, which has left us first in the league. 10 games played, 5 wins, 5 draws. So still unbeaten. Only Vitzu are also unbeaten, but they keep drawing everything. So that is why they're behind us. Essentially, they're only 6 points behind, but that's why they're behind us. Things looking a bit interesting. But no transfers to report, which is always good, and we can get straight into the game this time. So you can see they are odds. They are the favourites, but very, very short odds difference. So it's definitely a possibility. Dostalek is out with a pulled hamstring, unfortunately. So we're going into this one a man down, but we should be okay. Our starting lineup today is going to be Wilson, Francis, Stewart, Pleshko and Eamon. Kokoska is going to be the anchorman. Ribeiro, Fernandez and Di Bernardi are going to be in the midfield behind Bateo and Sindelar, with Gomez, Devine, Kondraki, Portia, Bajalski, Longstaff and Lucas Klima on the bench. So only a couple of changes from the last episode. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's see if we can get this game done, as I've randomly found a stray hair. Good. Let's get it done. Right, so looking at the starting lineup for Ajax. Gravenberg is a guy who I recognise now, Ryan Gravenberg. He has been at Ajax forever now. He's made 199 league appearances for the club at this point, but still a solid player. Who else have we got here that I should recognise? Don't recognise him. Which Ceballos is this? Is this Danny Ceballos? It is. It's probably Ceballos. I always forget how to pronounce his name. The Real Madrid player. He's alright. Had a year at Arsenal that I always forget he had. But he's a pretty good player, for especially for Ajax. They've got Rajani at the back, Daniele Rajani. He's he's good. Let's be honest, he's just good. Which Martinez is this? Lisandro Martinez. I definitely recognise that name because that's a guy who's played for Ajax for absolutely ever. Anyone else there? Dodo. I don't know which Dodo this is. He's the one that's at Shakhtar, so he's probably alright. And Anana is also, he's been there forever. He's in his 13th season at the club right now. So good team, good players all round, and Steven Bergwijn is on the left-hand side for them still at this stage. Well, I guess, he's a PSV player. I always think he's an Ajax player. Anyway, he's had a spell in Madrid and he's come back. So pretty strong all the way through. That's going to be a challenge. Let's hope we can do something though to, get that elusive point. We suffered defeat last time we played Ajax. I don't think it matters because that was about 5 years ago. I'm beaten in 5 matches. Well, we're not going to concern ourselves with what already happened. Manas Solomon's been okay. I've got some good players though, so we'll be fine. And we've looked okay. He's not really played for us in Europe this year. He's mostly been a domestic player, so that probably won't be a massive problem for us. So we'll see what happens, shall we? Straight into the game, and got to get points on the board. In the last episode I was saying that we'd see how results between other teams went to judge how strong we were in relation. So Celtic drew 0-0 with Chelsea to start the day, as Thiago has about 17 shots before someone decides to stop him. Chelsea drew 0-0 with Celtic earlier in the day, and Ajax drew 0-0 with Celtic in the previous round of games. So that logically means Ajax are about as strong as Chelsea, which is not the news we wanted. Stewart heads it clear to stop Rajani. Solomon's on the ball. Let's get rid of this as rapidly as we can. Di Bernardi is there, and now we can go on the counter with Bateo. and he has nobody around him and gives it away to Danny Ceballos, who is not known for his tackling. And Nani, ball forward there. They're going to build from the back with Dodo. Ball over the top to Solomon, who's got a good clip of pace on him. Hopefully Ehrman can get to him. He can't really, and Gravenberch gets a free header. Bergwijn from distance, and that's 1-0 down already. And this is going about as good as I expected it to go, if I'm honest. This is going to be a 3-0 loss. The math works out every single time. Really weird kind of, I guess, deflection, because you wouldn't cross it like that. But, finds Bergwijn in the end, and he puts it away. And we need to show some passion as early as we possibly can. It might be time to start ditching this 5-man midfield and just going for a result here. Very much might need to go for a result here. Di Bernardi has obviously taken a knock somewhere, so has Ehrman. But it's not going well. Let's get rid of this. Gravenberch gets very close. You'd think we'd be able to hold our own with Ajax, because the Dutch league isn't ranked much higher than the Polish league now in the rankings. But of course they're Ajax, and they've had years of being able to either attract or develop top-class footballers, which is something I've not really been able to do in the time I've been in Poland. So I'm making the best of what I can get, but it really is the best of what I can get. The two fullbacks are not playing particularly well. Let's get rid of this Bergwijn on the back post for his second of the game. And this is starting to look a little bit desperate, if I'm completely honest, and it's going to be time, I think, to make that switch of formation pretty much immediately. Actually, let's make that change before half time. Let's go into the regular old-fashioned diamond. Danny Bateo, I believe, can play up top. He can, and they're probably best that way round if I had to guess. So we'll do that. We'll see if that changes anything for us. Hopefully it does. Hopefully reverting back to our sort of traditional diamond shape. Getting the extra striker forward will provide some kind of opportunity as we go into the second half. It will be nice if it did, because we're not dominating possession like we did against Chelsea either. Stewart, ball to Ribeiro, ball through to Francis, this is looking a bit more promising. Ehrman is there, back, and Sindelar just heads it over. And that's half time, but at least we showed a little bit of something promising as we headed towards the whistle. Maybe we can still recover this game. Maybe it's going to be very, very tough, but maybe we can still recover something from this game. We do have options on the bench if we need them for replacements for fullbacks and for Di Bernardi. I mean, in fact, honestly, the straight swap for Di Bernardi would be Longstaff. I think let's head this clear. Ronnie gets close, and things looking even more desperate for us. Although Fernandez not having the best game of his career, if we're completely honest. So that could be a change that we have to make, but we're really looking at fullbacks now, because that's just the way this is going. Kondraki can come on as the right back. We're going to send Devine on as the left back. And do I go trip subs? I mean, to be fair, Di Bernardi is the best player on the field, and that feels like it'd be unfair to take him off when Fernandez is having such a poor game, even though he's tiring. I didn't mean to yell concentrate. That's ruined everything. That's ruined absolutely everything for us. We are going to have to take Fernandez off instead of Di Bernardi. Di Bernardi's just going to have to die on the field, unfortunately. But we do have Jordi Portilla there. We can send on, and we're going to send him on as a... We'll send him on as a complete forward. Why not? Because we haven't really used a complete forward, because we've not had anyone that can do it. As long as Di Bernardi can avoid getting sent off, who knows? Maybe there's still a slim chance we can get ourselves back into this game. Disappointed that Fernandez didn't really show it his potential, but Ronnie has got a free kick now. Let's hope we can do some kind of defensive work here, because that would be ideal. Simmons to Ronnie again. Can we maybe make a tackle? No, we can't. The ball gets swept across, and Ribeiro's picked it up. Those to Stewart. Are we going to go on a counter? Kondraki. Big game for him, and he's really messed it up immediately. But Stewart's there. Kokoska all the way back to Wilson. It's Kondraki needs to sort of start showing what he can do in Europe. Bateo, ball forward, but doesn't find anyone. They're back on the counter with Bergwijn, and this has got to be goal number 3. It's not. Bateo breaks it down, and we're starting to look like we can defend again. Wilson to Pleshko, ball forward to Di Bernardi. Di Bernardi needs to find the option on the left-hand side there, and he's not really looking for it. Oh, Bergwijn is there again. He's utterly tearing us apart, and Steven Bergwijn gets their third. And this has been a really poor all-round performance. Really, really poor all-round performance defensively. Just giving the ball away too much. We're trying to be too clever. It's just one of those games where you just need to keep it simple and not try anything stupid, and we're just trying things that are stupid constantly, and nothing's really happening. Let's show some passion, show some anything. I don't even care what we show at this point, as long as it looks like we can play football. We've got 4 more games to go in the Champions League, and they're definitely going to be our last 4. Interestingly, our under-19s are actually looking quite competitive. They managed to get a draw with Ajax earlier on in the day. It's just a shame we can't make our first team look like they can do something against Ajax. We need a really strong pair of showings against Celtic now to even have a remote chance of getting out of this group. We have to absolutely demolish Celtic twice. Get those points on the board, whilst Ajax and Chelsea hopefully draw against each other, and then maybe we can have a conversation about if we can sneak something. But we're not going to sneak anything today. That is the crux of the situation, unfortunately. Nothing to be snuck today. It's disappointing. It's really disappointing. But we're gonna wrap up the episode there, because I don't see why we wouldn't. There's nothing else to do today. So as per usual, you will find that I'm on the social medias at Twitter, Insta and Patreon, with announcements already been made for the FM21. So if you haven't seen it on the channel, go check it out there. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can see what I'm doing for FM21, because it's going to be incredible, sort of. And in the meantime, guys, I have been ChasingLamely. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Have a good one.